music festival. I don't know if they still do it, but like because of the pandemic, but it was like a whole music festival that they did, and I went there one time with Mahi and
Oh,
Brian.
yeah.
Yeah, and uh, it was just crazy. Like, so Travis Scott was one of the headliners, right? And I ended up jumping on stage with Travis Scott. I had like some of the Flamingo merch, and I like had like a pack, and I was just like,
Throwing that out. Putting it out there, man.
you have to.
For sure.
Speaking of putting things out, like, what's this I've been hearing about a tape coming out?
Yeah, I've been working. I have a. I'm working on a project right now with my boy Swain. Money Kid Stacks. Shout out to him. We're working on two tapes right now. One that's called Feels Good, and then I'm working on one by myself, which will be a lo-fi tape. So it'll be everything exclusively produced on the MPC and the SP404.
So is this like, is it gonna be just straight beats, or you gonna have like other artists come and like kind of like a DJ Khaled almost?
So the way I plan to do this right now is that I'll release some beats to get something into the streaming world, put my name out there,
Okay.
and then eventually I'll be working with some artists, and then release like a full-fledged album with some of the beats selected there and some new exclusive ones.
Okay, so yeah, basically like you're gonna drop it, and then like once you like gather it up, then
That's
you'll
right.
like re-release it,
Yes,
and then that way that's kind of people get like a taste of it the first time,
for
and
sure.
then they hear like your full vision of it.
Definitely. So
That's it.
yeah, that's the goal, man. Just get my name out there, let them know what I'm about.
Speaking of getting your name out there and stuff, right? So, like, what made you choose music? Like,
Ever since I was little, I grew up in the Dominican Republic. I was born and raised there until the 7th grade. When I was there, I always wanted to create music because in the Dominican Republic, there's SUVs hooked up with like sound systems. I'm talking about like 12 inches, but more than 5 or 10. So
They have
they'll
that here in
shake the
Miami.
whole house. Yeah, you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
you go down to Wynwood.
So whether you want to or not, you're gonna hear the music.
Yeah, true.
So that inspired me, like, yo, I want to be the one doing that, doing the music. And then eventually, when I came over here to the United States and I got my first computer, that's when I started creating beats. My first software was FL Studio, but ever since I've mastered plenty more.
Man, that's good to hear though. Like, I feel like so many people they you hear something, people have like an idea to do it, but then like you actually like you're saying you took it, focused on it, made it happen, made it become a reality.
Yes,
You know.
been at it for a few years now. And at first, I thought it was just gonna be, you know, actually music kept me out the streets.
Hmm.
Throughout high school, there were certain people that looked the way that I moved, people in certain gangs, and I'm not about that life, so I stayed home just making beats, and that kept me out of that environment.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Nah, I feel like that's like music has definitely kind of been like one of those things. It's helped a lot of people through a lot of different circumstances, like whether it's like emotional or like physical, and like I mean, I feel like anyone, even if you don't specifically do music, it does that for you. So it's like people who are like experiencing it and channeling that are able to channel that so clearly that other people who maybe they don't do music themselves, but they can still feel what that person's going through.
Definitely. And there's certain songs that you can just tell that person was going through something, whether it be positive, negative, or emotionally scarring. You can definitely hear that in some of the tracks I've created for myself and some of the tracks I've worked with other artists.
Do you have like a favorite track? Like out of all the tracks you've made, out of everything you've made, would you say like one of them is like this is like my Mona Lisa?
I can't say that. Like I love every single one of them. Like they're my child. It's
Yeah.
cliche to say, but like every
Nah,
single one
yeah.
has the potential to be something. Especially if we promote it and treat it the right way, and water the plant, it'll definitely have a chance to grow.
True. Now, like, that's an interesting thing. Like you said, like everyone has every song has a potential. Like that must be interesting for you, like as a producer, to create something, and then have like other people come in and add to it, and it just turns into like this
A whole
crazy
different
piece.
piece,
Yeah.
definitely.
Like, what does that feel like for you? Like how does that experience feel?
It's interesting to say the least because there's certain beats I'm like, yeah, this person's gonna like this because X, Y, and Z,
Mm-hmm.
and then out of the pack that I'm showing them, they pick the ones I thought they were going to like. But people are unpredictable at times.
True. Yeah.
So that's why the way that I am, I don't classify myself as a X, Y, and Z type of producer. I'm just an artist. I'm not just a beat maker. I'm not a producer. I'm an artist. And the reason I say that, thank you, is because I'm here crafting songs. I'm crafting stories.
Mm-hmm.
I have had the chance to work with you, and we've taken some ideas, and I was like, no, try that hook a different way. Redo that verse differently.
Mm-hmm.
Say the same thing but differently.
Yeah, man, you always push me though, and I think that's one of the coolest things about music too. It's like meant to be a collaborative process. Like, what other job do you do? Like, what other like thing do you work on that is supposed to have other people come in and add their portion to it, like a saxophone player or a drummer or an engineer?
Yeah. See, beat makers, we get a lot of flack for being a bedroom producer. Well, bedroom beat maker.
Nah.
But honestly, music has to be made collaborative. It's an exchange of energy. Energy can be created, nor the short can only be exchanged. And that's why I'm here right now. I flew down from Pennsylvania so we can work with I know Mark as well, and just share ideas and just let the energy dictate what happens. And an email can't replicate the same feeling. A FaceTime call can replicate the same feeling. A Zoom call, sharing the screen can't replicate the same feeling.
It can't, nah.
So that's why I do it. That's why I rather work in a collaborative manner. And speaking of that, I have two different teams. I have the Parallel, which is me and SV, aka Junior. It's a team of us two. Then I have the Estate, which is me and a couple other producers.
Yeah.
Not Easy, Eddie Priest,
Mm-hmm.
97, and Raul Gato. So we can supply and meet any criteria.
See that, and that's what I love though. Like, and I see this happen like more with producers, where like they'll be more like tight knit, and kind of like build like a strong like unit between all of them, like all like chop up samples and stuff together, or like just cook up together, and I mean it's great to see. I just wish we would see more of it. Like I think the music industry needs more of that, like more like people just like getting together and like enjoying doing it,
enjoying the process.
Yeah,
because it really is a process.
Yeah.
There's some tracks where I think I haven't finished, and then Not Easy can come in and nah, take all this out, just keep this, and let's move forward. But I wouldn't get to the same conclusion had I doing it myself.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part too, because like your mind like is capable of so much, but just being around someone else like enables it to be capable of different things that you wouldn't have thought of. Yeah.
When you're by yourself, you either go left or go right. When you're with somebody else, like let's go up or down.
Yeah, there you go.
It's a whole new. It opens a can of worms of possibilities.
Yeah. changes from like regular scroll flat screen to like full immersive VR
Yeah,
headset.
you go from NES to PS5,
Yeah, just like that.
just like that.
Well, let's see. You got a bunch of stuff coming out. You've done a lot of work. Where do you see things going from here?
To the moon, man. Rocket to the moon.
Rocket to the moon.
Yes,
Right,
sir.
right.